ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, we have a kind of a problem here, right? We have an issue because what we have here is Ben and Jerry's calling on a riot for the inauguration. Yeah, that's right. On January 20th, they are calling for a riot on the inauguration. I did say this was going to happen, guys. I did say that there was going to be some kind of riot or what have you on January 20th. And it seems that looks like that foresight is coming true because Ben and Jerry's looks like it is hosting the operation. What we have here is simple. We have this from Andy No saying leftist ice cream corporation Ben & Jerry's is helping to organize a direct action against fascism on January 18th to oppose the inauguration of Donald Trump. Ben & Jerry's company politics is notoriously radical. They gave food to rioters at the violent Chaz occupation in Seattle in 2020 and released propaganda demanding the funding of law enforcement. They also advocate for the transitioning of children. Here we have. Join us at the People's March, January 18th, Washington, D.C., and everywhere. Power to the people. On January 18th, we're joining the People's March in Washington, D.C., and beyond to send an urgent message to the incoming administration. You work for the people, and we're here to hold you accountable. Together, we will fight for our rights and our future and defend our freedoms against fascism. Which you guys are the fascists, but I digress. It is our right to protest and safely dissent policies and practices that do not represent our beliefs, regardless of who is in power. There is not going to be no right to protest. There's not going to be no nothing because there is going to be only violence. The left is an inherently violent people. This has been shown time and time and time again. So the fact that you think it's not going to happen is insanity to me. They go on to say, it is our right to protest and safely dissent policies and practices that do not represent our beliefs, regardless of who is in power. We are more united than we are divided. Let's make sure that they know it. Join us on January 18th in Washington, D.C., or at a march near you and protect your right to protest. Here's the problem here. You are the minority of people now, because the majority of people have said, even the popular vote has said, we want the president. You're acting as like the president or Trump has cheated the system when he hasn't. And that's the insane part. We have this here as well. That says from Andy No saying, Ben & Jerry says the U.S. is illegitimate because it is on stolen land, but the corporation's property in Vermont also operates on former tribal land that has not been returned. This is the 4th of July. It's high time we recognize that the U.S. exists on stolen indigenous land and commit to returning it. So that's one thing. Before we get into that, though, we'll do this. This is on their website. This is clear as day on their website, pretty much saying what they're going to do here. And this will be in the description down below, so you guys can all see on the radicalization and how evil that these people are. Don't support this company. Dear President-elect Trump, whoa, does your new title sound so as weird to you as it does to us? Well, we'll all get used to it quickly. On Tuesday, across this country, we watched in living rooms and bars and bedrooms as we saw unfold a collective statement and a choice from our country as you were elected to our nation's highest office. Congratulations. And while we recognize that this is the outcome that many wanted, this is also an outcome that leaves half of our country feeling sadness and shock. We want to honor all of our nation's experience, except you are going to start a riot, essentially, on January 18th. So I don't think you are very true on this matter. We disagree on some. He says, let's be honest. We disagree on some, okay, many things, but this we understand. You defied the political pundits and polls and racked up a big win by tapping into something important that much of the rest of the political establishment has ignored. No, he hasn't. It was, you can't just win in a landslide like this and expect it. You have states that have certain parts of the states that turn red. Places that were originally blue turn red. This isn't some type of political establishment here, but of course this is what you're going to be putting. You understood that our political system has become detached from the everyday needs of ordinary Americans. You spoke to those who have seen their American dream wither away. This was a rough campaign that many of us found a little hard to watch, but instead of sitting this one out, Americans all over the country came out, many standing in long lines to cast their ballots and participate in a democracy. What you guys are trying to erode, by the way. There are those who claim that our country is deeply polarized and divided, which it is. It is horribly polarized and is horribly divided, set by you people. But we know, and here's another thing we can definitely agree on, that there is far more that unites us than divides us. True, but you guys are the fringe minority that are trying to remove our freedom of speech, remove our Second Amendment, and defund the police and kill hundreds of thousands of people because you're radicalized and evil. So I don't know what else to tell you. To all Republicans and Democrats and independents across this nation, I say it is time for us to come together as a united people. We say amen to that. Because America is a beautiful place. Yes, there are some drawn to hate, bigotry, misogyny, cruelty, and more, which there's more misogyny than there is misogyny in this country, because a lot of you hate white people or men in general, and a lot of you are actually bigots because you don't like white people. So yeah. Oh, by the way, how about giving black people uh happy points for just being black and giving them free tokens just because they're black? That sounds like racism and demeaning, don't you think? But I digress. You're too stupid to realize that. But there are so many more Americans fighting for justice, for equality, fighting for the America we believe in, the America we dream of, the America that embraces difference, collaboration, understanding, and peace. President-elect Trump, we are unwavering in our values. We stand ready to defend the progress our country has been made on climate change, which we haven't made much at all because you have to go blame India and China for those. We will continue to be strong advocates for racial injustice, social justice, LGBT rights, gender equality, respect religious differences, and opportunity for all. We stand with women, people of color, Muslims, migrants, refugees, the LGBT community, the poor, and others whose lives may be further compromised by the policies and the rhetoric you espouse during your campaign. And we commit to stand with you if your work is toward building a more just, equitable, and sustainable world. During your campaign, you gave voice to many Americans who feel left out and marginalized, and today we challenge you to hear the voice of all Americans, regardless of race or gender or religion or sexual orientation or economic status, who are fighting for a country built on justice and equity. No, because equity doesn't solve anything, it just causes issues. Equity is when you want everybody to be the same, when everybody is not the same. That's not how that happens, it's not how that works. These are things we all want, and so we hope these are the things you also do want. So, etc. And President Lyndon Johnson once said, if we see it, it will not be because of what we have, but it will be because of what we are, not because of what we own, but rather because of what we believe. We encourage you to see this country for what it is, stronger for its many disagreements, for more beautiful for its many flaws, filled with communities, bound by love of family, and hope for the future. Bound now, perhaps most of all, by a fervent wish that you rise to the occasion, rise to this moment, and restore our faith in the idea that we are stronger, that we stand together. Yeah, see, this is what they say, but they're doing this. They're saying that, oh, we care, we offer about democracy and stuff. Oh, by the way, we're also going to protest or / riot you because we fight against race fascism. So what they say here is not true on what they're saying here. Really odd, don't you think? And of course, a indigenous tribe wants Ben and Jerry's to return stolen land their HQ is built on, so they're horribly built on hypocrisy as well, or hypocrisy. Members of a indigenous tribe who are descendants of Native Americans have reportedly expressed interest in taking back the land now occupied by popular ice cream makers Ben and Jerry's after the company made a controversial call for America to return stolen land, which, of course, they don't want to do that, right? Because anything that appeases them is an issue, but if it appeases on other people, it's A-okay. This is how the Democrats work. And by the way, this is not going to be a protest. This will be a riot, because this is what all start with, right? And to end this on one final note here. I want you guys to understand. Are we going to arrest people, specifically Ben and Jerry's here, the company, the people, for when there's a riot that happens, and then people get hurt, fires set everywhere, things get burned and things start happening? Are we going to arrest these people for inciting a riot? Because I think that we should. What we see here is a company inciting a riot, and their biggest fallback is, oh, we just said it was going to be a protest. It was all going to be a set of protest. Right. So you said it was going to be a protest. Well, we all know it's not going to be one. I think that these people should be arrested for inciting a riot because they have obviously called to action for inciting a riot, and I think they should be held accountable. If not arrested, they should be they should have to, after all the damage has been incurred by the said riot that I very much believe is going to happen, they should be forced to pay for everything that happens, and then also pay a very huge fine for also inciting it if there's no arrest. Because these people, these leftists need to be held accountable for their actions. And if they're going to be inciting a riot like this, then you deserve all the ramifications for it. You cannot be doing this type of stuff, all right? You cannot be inciting things that have been going on. So that's the way I see it. Call it as it may, but people, we need to have hefty reasons for this. We need to have actual ramifications for people like this, because if we don't, our country is never going to heal. We're never going to fix these radical, insane people, and it's going to cause massive problems. So yeah. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, guys, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. Cause it's algorithmic disease, the social media.